Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Putu Sri Santi and I am from Ganesha University of Education, English Language Education Department, and I am from 6A class. I made this video in order to fill my final project, and the course is material development. So in this video I will explain about analytical exposition text for 12th grade senior high school. And before we learn, please take your stationery like your book, pencil or pen, in order if there is an important thing that you think it is important, right? So you can take note, or if you don't understand about some part, you can take a note and you can search it later on by yourself, or you can ask me the questions in the comment sections. And without any further ado, let's start our lesson today. And here I have an animation video about analytical exposition text. So here is the video. So that's all about the animation video. Do you understand about the video? Because the video tells us about the definition, the purposes, the social function, the generic structure, and language features in analytical exposition text. So is there any part that you don't understand about the video or the explanation? If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment sections, and don't hesitate to give me suggestion also. So let us move to the next activity. So here I provide you a comic. Of course, the comic is still relevant with the material. So here is the comic. Let us read together the comic. So this is the comic, and the name of the girl is Jane and the name of the boy is Eddie. So let us read it together. First one, Jane. Hi Eddie, do you smoke? Eddie answers, yes I do. Why do you ask? Can you stop it? Because it is not good for your health. Why need to stop? Can you explain it? And Jane says, guys, can you help me to explain it to Eddie? Okay, let us help Jane to explain to Eddie that smoking is not good for health, or cigarette is not good for health. So guys, Jane asks us to help her to explain that smoking or a cigarette is not good for health to Eddie. So how can we help Jane? So we can make an analytical exposition text in order to persuade Eddie that smoking and cigarette is not good. So let us make an analytical exposition text. In the previous video, I already explained about the three generic structures of how to make an analytical exposition text. So there are three sections or three pages. The first one is thesis, the second one is argument, and the third one is reiteration. So the first one, let us make a thesis for smoking or the cigarette, why cigarette is not good. So this is the thesis. Let us read together. So before you smoke, it is better to see the reality. Around 50,000 people die every year in the world. Almost a quarter of smokers die from disease caused by smoking. So this is the thesis of analytical exposition text. And then move to the argument. So in this section, you need to state your argument that smoking is not good. Let us read it together. 90% of lung cancer is caused by smoking. If we smoke 5 cigarettes a day, we die easier from lung cancer than non-smokers. 95% of people who suffer from bronchitis are the people who smoke. Smokers die easier from heart disease than non-smokers. In addition, children who smoke develop bronchitis and pneumonia. In 1 hour, in a room full of cigarette smoke, non-smokers breathe with the cancer-causing substances as much as if they had smoked 15 cigarettes. So it is so dangerous, right? And then we move to the last is reiteration. So we restate our thesis but in a different way. So here, let us read together. Smoking is really good for the tobacco companies because they got a lot of money from cigarettes. But smoking is not good for anybody. So Jane, we already helped you to explain it to Eddie and the other who smokes that smoking and cigarette is not good. Let us continue reading the comic. Jen says to Eddie, Now you know about the danger of smoking. And Eddie answers, "Yes, Jane, I will try to stop smoking." "I know you can do it." And Eddie says, "Thank you, Jane." And Jane said, "Thank you, guys, because you already helped Jane to explain that smoking is not good. So by making an analytical exposition text, you save people for not smoking anymore." So we already learned about the example of analytical exposition text from the comic, and then here I have tips for you of how to make an analytical text. I provide you a PPT that stated the tips of making analytical exposition text. So let's move to the PPT. So I made this PPT in order to make you easier to make an analytical exposition text. So how to make an analytical exposition text? Who knows? Okay, let us move. So the first one, the purpose of the text. We need to know the purpose of the text. The purpose of the text is to propose and support an argument. And then before writing, you need to prepare the first one. Select your topics to provide evidence of your thesis. So you need to choose the topic first. The previous one, we choose smoking. The second one, organize your ideas. And the third one, write a thesis statement. And the fourth, pick 3 or 4 ideas for support this statement. So in these ideas, you will make the ideas or elaborate in the argument sections. And then the last, write topic sentence for each of these ideas. So the topic sentence needed to elaborate your argument. So you will easier to elaborate if you have topic sentence. And then steps to write. The first one, write your introduction first, and then the introduction must include your thesis statement as well as a summary of your topic sentences for each paragraph in the main body. And then write a paragraph for each of the topic sentences and expand upon how this topic sentences supports your thesis and provide any information you wish in support. And then the last, write a concluding paragraph for your essay or text, and the conclusion must restate the thesis and restate each of your arguments in support of the thesis, and generally bring the essay to an effective close. So make sure to word all of this differently than you did it at the beginning in the body. And so that's all the tips and the steps of how to write an analytical exposition text. Now, after you read the PPT, can you make an analytical exposition text? Because I already explained the tips and the steps how to write an analytical exposition text. So now, let us practice. And I have a topic. It is about euthanasia. Do you know euthanasia? Nowadays, people are debating about euthanasia. Some people pro about euthanasia, but some people cons about euthanasia. What about you? So today we will make an analytical exposition text by using euthanasia as the topic, and you can choose which one is your side. Do you pro or do you cons about euthanasia? And we will find out now. And here I provide you an infographic, and it will easier you to make an analytical text because I provided the pro sides and the con sides. So let's move to the infographic. So this is the infographic about euthanasia that I made, and there are two sides, pro and cons, but when you make an analytical exposition text, you need to in one side. If you are pro, then your argument must be pro with euthanasia, and if you choose in a con side, you need to make a cons argument about euthanasia. So let us read about the pro one. So here is euthanasia. The pro one. People should be allowed to choose their life. It is a topic sentence or statements if you pro with euthanasia, and then euthanasia can reduce or prevent human suffering by relieving people who are suffering from extreme pain, and then it can free up health care resources to help someone else who is severely ill. And the last is euthanasia doesn't mean a lack of caring or compassion. On the contrary, the patient's needs are put first. So here is the statement for the people who pro with euthanasia, and from this sentence or sentences you can elaborate it, make it the first statement you can make it in become one paragraph, and then you will have more a lot of paragraph here, like 4 paragraph, if you can elaborate it well. So let us read in the cons side of euthanasia. So this is a statement for people who cons with euthanasia. The first one is the idea that every human life is precious and has value is undermined by euthanasia. And the second one, most medical professionals do not want to be involved with killing patients, as it is the total opposite to what they see as their purpose, which is healing people and saving lives. And then the third one is there is a danger that euthanasia could be used to control health care costs, with the patient's needs and wishes taking second place. And then the last, if voluntary euthanasia is allowed, then there is a danger of it developing into a slippery slope situation where, say, sick elderly people end up having their lives terminated because selfish relatives don't want to look after them, or out of greed for inheritance money. So people have their choice if they are pro or cons about euthanasia, and which sides are you on? Can you make an analytical exposition text now? Okay, I think you already understand about how to make an analytical exposition text because I already provide you with a lot of examples. And then in this last activity, let us recall our understanding about analytical exposition text. And here I have a PPT for you, and let us read it together. So here, this is a PPT about analytical exposition text. So let us recall our understanding about analytical exposition text. The first one is definition. So the definition of analytical exposition text is a text which persuades the readers or listeners that something in the case gives a point of view and confirms what is claimed. An analytical exposition text is a text that proposes or suggests a certain topic which may only be pro or contra, not both. Note that. And then the social function of analytical exposition text. The first one is to persuade the listener or reader that there is a case that certainly needs to get attention. And the second one is to analyzing a topic and to persuade the reader that the writer's opinion is correct and supported by some strong arguments. Next, the language features. So in this one, the language feature is first, focus on generic human and non-human participants like car, pollution, and etc. And then the use of mental verbs is used when expressing opinions. For examples, the word like, believe, and etc. And the use of words that link to arguments like firstly, however, therefore. And the last one is the use of present tense. And the generic structure of analytical exposition text. The first one is thesis. In this space, it is introduce a topic, outlines main idea or point of view to be presented or thesis statement. And then the second one is argument. Provides the evidence or arguments to support the thesis statement. Each paragraph identifies a particular point, and the elaboration may be further descriptions, analysis, justification, giving examples, comparing and contrasting, and etc. And then the last one is reiterations. It is restates the position and perhaps with some emphasis. So that's our recalling knowledge about analytical exposition text. So that's all about our lesson today. I hope you got some knowledge from my video and from my explanation. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put it in the comment sections. And you can freely give your questions or suggestions for me. And I'm sorry if I made a lot of mistakes. See you in another video and goodbye.